Hail, brothers and sisters! Ooh, guns are going already. My name is Captain Meatshield, and welcome back to Attack on Factorio. I left things in a little bit of a limbo state at the end of the last episode. We've got some rail stuff that needs to be finished. I did leave some gates there, that's good, the biters can't get through that. But I have... Ooh, and we're getting attacked from the south, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, that pollution cloud is starting to head out down towards the southeast a little bit. Okay, we have some stuff that needs to be done, and I have a to-do list. I've got a lot of stuff that I want to try and get done with this episode, so I'm just going to crack on and get things done. First things first, I need to build some rails. I need some stone for that, and probably some steel. So we're going back up to our new district. We're going to connect up the rails, we're going to connect up the power, and we're going to get the whole thing running. I don't know why I'm doing all this on foot. I should probably be doing it in the car, but never mind. Okay, so the rails are coming up to roundabouts here. Let's bring you... Oh, that's going the wrong way. Let's bring you over this way a bit. And... I need to come over one more, I think. There we are. There we go. We've got one line connecting. Fantastic. Right, this is progress. Progress is good. Progress is the name of the game. Well, the name of the game is Factorio, but, you know, progress is also good, and it could be a name for a game. Who knows? I'm hoping I've got enough supplies to make enough rails to get all of this connected up. But there's a lot more that needs to be done alongside just connecting the rails up and the power to all of this. It's going to be a long episode, but hopefully by the time we get this episode done, we're going to have a lot more progress done towards getting this place up and running. There we are. Right. That doesn't look quite right to me. I'm going to dismantle this and do it again. I'm just going to extend these rails up a little bit, like that, just because we're likely to end up sending trains further up to the north. But for now, this is good progress. Starting to look a little more reasonable. Okay, so we've got the large power poles are extending right up the middle of these tracks, and I want to keep that consistent. Like that. Can I drag you up any further? There we go. I can bring you up to there before the connection breaks. And I might just dismantle you there. Let's bring one over this way. Plonk you there. So that we can just keep extending these poles north. And hopefully not get assaulted by the bugs while we're doing this. Ooh, there's some turret damage. Oh no, laser turrets. Ooh, that's gonna be fun. Now, will this last pole connect everything up? No, it won't, unfortunately. Oh, I underestimated how far apart these districts are. Okay, right. That should be a good start towards getting everything set up over here. That is power to the unloading systems. Let's just tidy all this up. There we are. Nice. Unloading systems are powered. Everything else is now powered. And coal is starting to come in. So copper, on-site copper smelting is now a thing. We need to give these assembling machines their jobs. So these three are for copper wire. And then these two here are going to be for the electronic circuits. The ratio of this works out at, I think it's, well, this basically works out as the most efficient layout for this. I think I did mention that in the last episode. These sorts of layouts are about as efficient as this kind of colony is going to be. I'm still not entirely sure on what I'm going to be calling this area, but this is going to be about as efficient as things are going to get. Each individual district is just going to try and maximize the efficiency as best it can, but it's not going to run as efficiently as like a full-blown factory. By no means necessary. But what I could do with doing is putting down some of these turrets, because at the moment most of this is horrendously undefended. I also just realised that it's not showing up the turret radius anymore. Yeah, now that this district is in operation, it is going to be chucking out loads of pollution, and there are some bug bases that are, from what I can see on the radar, already in range of what we're putting out. So this will likely be their first target, and I want to make sure that nothing is really going to happen to it. Do need to put signals in on that train station, but for now things are looking okay. If we can try and get train on the way going back and forth, that is going to be our next target for getting iron back and forth. But the problem is I'm going to have to go about rebuilding the station by the iron smelting. So I think I'm just going to give that whole system a bit of an overhaul, because I want to relay the miners, I want to tidy everything up so that we can kind of clear all the stuff away from around the rails. That's the kind of main thing that I want to deal with right now. So unfortunately, yep, everything's going to shut down with me dismantling all of this. Let's just get rid of all these power poles, so the miners will shut down and their belts can just clear out. Now let's relay these miners along the rails as tightly packed as they can. I think I just want to clear out as much of this as possible. There we are. Right, that should just about do it. Bring these down here. I have just realised that I've got a bit of a problem with actually getting all of this powered, so I might have to space these out a bit more. Oh god, oh god! Whoa. Just nearly avoided getting twatted by the train. That would have been horrendously embarrassing for me. Right, that's looking a little bit better. Right, now what am I going to do about this station? Oh, you are going to be a problem, aren't you? I essentially just need to completely rework the entire thing. So I'm going to have to tear up all of these tracks and rebuild the entire bloody thing. Let's tear all this up and we'll start again. Really didn't want to have to do this, but I do feel like I need to. Just so I can get the station to work properly more than anything. The only problem is going to be all of these boxes full of coal. I think I might just have to bring the car over here and load everything into this. There we go. That's a load of coal for you. Right, well this is most definitely now looking like it's going to be a completely dead-end station. So that does kind of make things a little bit easier. So if I bring the rails down a little further... Ooh, we are having some assaults over at the circuit district. But I'm hoping that the guns over there are doing a sufficient job. So far it seems like they are. Not enough rails, apparently. And I don't have enough materials to make more. I need to go and get some more steel. Leaving a gaping hole in the wall while I'm going off on this errand. This is going to be dangerous. Really hope the bugs aren't going to come and attack. I think they're probably too busy with the circuit district more than anything at the moment. That looks like it should work. Okay, it's looking a bit weird, but it's starting to come together. I am going to need to extend these walls up a little bit, bring them across. We'll just do this, we'll put in like a little bunker sort of thing. Okay, and as of right now, the only train that is going to be on this line, I suppose, is going to be the... well, the coal train is the only one that is of any concern at the moment. I do want to... Ooh, okay. That's a lot of bugs. Jeez. And I just realised that research thing has been flashing at me for the last 20 minutes, I think. So, what am I going to do next? This is the question. Let's do some... Can we do some turret damage? No, we need blue science for that. Okay. Let's get the Yeah, let's get that. Let's get that. Rail signals can be a bit of a problem sometimes. They can be quite fiddly. I did have to look at some YouTube tutorial stuff in order to teach myself how to properly use them. But in no short order, I did manage to sort it all out, which was good. And once you get it all sorted, it is actually surprisingly easy. I'm hoping I've got this right. It looks like it should be, but that one's still blinking, and I'm not entirely sure why, is it? Because of that? Yeah, there we go. Right. That junction looks like it should work. But we won't know until we've got multiple trains on the line. For now, I need to get all this iron smelting up and running again. Well, what I can do is I can now empty out all this bloody coal again. Because, yeah, I've got a bit too much of it. These are going to need to be filter inserters, though. That is the problem. We are getting into the realms of all of the tricky stuff where things need... When you're setting up stations that have multiple cargoes that need to come and go, you want to make sure that the inserters are set up so that they're only going to take off what you need them to, because otherwise they will just pick things off at random. So these are filter inserters. They are designed so that you can decide what gets taken, or what they pick up, or what they put down. Which does make the logistics side of things a little bit easier. I mean, I don't know why I'm transporting coal over here anyway. I could just be mining this. But fuck it. I am a man of complicated ways. Complicated mostly just for myself. But, I suppose it works to some extent. And all of this faffing about with getting things rebuilt and redone, oh. I mean, I do want things to be the way that I want them. But this is kind of an ever-fluctuating sort of situation with all this. Now, things are set up again over here in this iron district, or iron smelting district. But I think I have a name for this place. I was looking up on like various things to do with iron to see if I could come up with any interesting names for this place, and I think I have one. Right, there we are. I have now named this iron district Vickersville, and for anyone who might be interested as to why I chose that name, the Vickers test is a test that's performed on various different metals to test their hardness. It uses things like diamond-tipped equipment. There were various different tests for all that sort of stuff, and it seemed like it was an interesting name for it, so I thought I'd go with that. And we now need to change up the schedule and send the train to Vickersville. So we'll just hop on board, make sure everything's all hunky-dory. And by the looks of things, yeah. Nice. Swing in and out of, and then back in through the walls. Right. So things are once again set up here. The iron is now back in production, and it is now being loaded into chests, which fortunately are not going to be loaded into any of these coal cargo wagons. But it does mean that we need a new train. So I'm going to go and build one. Okay, here we are. Now, it needs some fuel, which is kind of a no-brainer, because otherwise it's not going to go anywhere. 1, 2, 3. And we're just going to chuck that in there, and we're going to give it a nice new colour. Just going to put in some filters for this so that the train doesn't get loaded up with coal or anything else if it ends up in the wrong station. So we just copy paste all of the details over, which is quite a handy little trick, and this train is ready to go. So we are going to set its schedule. We're going to send it over to Vickersville, and let's just go straight away so that we can get the train loaded up and then send it on its way up to the circuit district, because we have things that need to be done up there. So once this train starts shuttling back and forth, we will actually have fully automated district-based production of electronic circuits, which is a grand old time. Now that the iron is being split between the little main base, the bit of production that's going on in Central, and loading up this train, it does mean I need to check what station I'm sending this to. James Nicholas. Definitely going to have to change the name of that train. Interestingly, for those who don't know about the naming of the trains, the default naming of train stations, they are the names that have been put forth by Kickstarter backers, and there are various different structures around, like diesel locomotives get it. So this is the diesel locomotive Marflag and Williston. So if either of you happen to be watching, thank you. You are making up a component of the second train. The first one is marked. I'll check it later, hopefully, if I remember. Okay, so this train is on its way over to the circuit district, where we're going to make sure that it's unloading properly. Where it looks like it is. Let's make sure that the circuits are going to be properly in production. And fantastic! We have our first kind of external district is now in production, and I am also going to go about renaming this one as well. I did ask in the last episode if anybody wanted to try and come up with some names, and I only had one suggestion, and it was kind of a fairly vague suggestion, but it was suggested by a friend of mine called Anthony, and he suggested something to do with Turing, because obviously like the Turing test, and I thought, okay, well, what can we do with that sort of name? So we now have the Circuit District of Turing Sands, named after Turing himself, and it's slapped right on the sands of a desert, so why the hell not? It seems fairly appropriate, and yeah, just taking the geography of the area into consideration. And I don't have enough flooring because I left my car down in Central, or down by Vickersville. Oh, it's gonna be interesting to start remembering all of these names, I think. Okay, now the train now has a couple of different conditions for its schedule. When it gets down to Vickersville, it will wait for either 30 seconds or until the cargo inventory is completely full. And then when it gets to Turing Sands, it will sit around for 30 seconds or until the cargo wagons are completely empty. And I should probably do something about all this gate business here, because this could be a little bit dodgy. At least until we set up the next wall out from where we are. Right, you've got a lot of stuff in you, so let's drive up to Turing Sands, which I do like it as a name, but I do feel like I might end up shortening it at some point to probably just the Sands or something. I don't know. Concrete and stone blocks, please. I want to go and lay out some flooring around this station, just to make things look nice. Because the ultimate point of this entire series is to have fun setting up. Obviously, like the goal is to get to the end game. We want to, which I don't think I've actually mentioned. For those of you who don't know what the end game is in Factorio, you have to launch a rocket into space with a satellite on it. And while that is very much going to be the goal of this series, it is going to be about trying to make a nice, interesting setup for all of this. I do want to kind of maximize as much as possible of the, working with the districts and with setting up the kind of the Attack on Titan influenced structure to everything. But ultimately, yes, we will get round to building a rocket silo further along in the future, and we will be sending a satellite up into space. Whether or not that's going to happen before any new updates come out, where they might change the end game, because the game is slowly getting pushed towards a full, bringing it out of early access and into a, a full, I don't even know what the term is, like a full release version of the game, I suppose is how I would term it. Whether or not that's correct, I don't know. Don't quote me on anything, ever. It'd be a waste of your time and everybody else's. They shouldn't listen to you. But yes, until the end game gets changed, we are going to go about doing our very best to set this nice little... I don't know, I like the idea of calling it a citadel. For some reason that sits quite well with me, and I think I might go with that. If you think that that's a good idea or not, then, I don't know, let me know in the comments, or on Facebook or Twitter or wherever. But, yeah, the goal will be to launch a rocket into space, unless things change further down the road. Or further down the rails, who knows. But for now, we're just going to spend some time setting up this citadel, and I've run out of stone bricks. Damn. Right, well, we'll start laying stuff out underneath all the machines over here, because I also know exactly how I want all of this stuff to look, which is quite handy for me. Means I have to do less work later on, but we are going to want to come back with some stone bricks at some point so we can finish everything off. Okay, and now I'm completely 100% officially out of absolutely everything. One thing I think I do want to do at some point is going to be setting up like a little garage in each district for me to park the car into whenever I come along. Okay, yeah, things are coming along. We've got a little bit of time left, so I'm going to work on some other stuff, hopefully. Let's have a look to see what we need to do. Let's have a look at the power, actually. It seems like everything's fine right now. Yeah, because, I mean, ultimately, while the circuit district is now, while the sands are now set up for circuit production, like we don't actually have anywhere to send the circuits to, so it's going to be a while before like production in the sands actually starts up proper. And for now we will be just relying on all of the research that is getting done in Central. How are some of these? I'm going to go around and just have a quick check on all of the miners. You've not got much left in you. 47 stone. That's quite heavy. A quick check up on the coal, which is going fantastically. There's all of the miners have still got a load of supply left. Nice chunk of them are still running. Yeah, that's all looking good. And there's not too much to worry about. I'm going to get rid of more of these bloody little poles. I don't like them. Right, we can probably dump these alien artifacts as well, because I don't need them at the moment. They are just taking up inventory space. Okay, we are starting to have some kind of throughput issues down here, because of the diminished amount of iron that is now coming through on this belt. What do I feel like doing about that? Do I want to increase the smelting? Because where I've positioned it, I've not done a very good job of that. I do feel like Vickersville is going to go through another revision at some point, but that's just how things go with various different places in real life as well. Places go through revisions as things get updated through the years. But it's nice to see that the train signals are all working properly. I do need to actually go up to the sands and see. I've already dropped the Turing bit from it. The official name is Turing Sands. It always will be. Even if I were to go about like drawing up a map of the entire bloody area, it would be noted as Turing Sands. I'm not entirely sure on whether this line is going to go further west. That's one thing that we'll find out in the future, I suppose. But we're kind of just setting this up so that it has the potential to go out further to the west should we desire it. But I'm rather pleased with this. Things are slowly starting to develop. We are getting a little more in the way of rail logistics. We're getting a little more structure towards things, and it's starting to feel like things are, you know, working together. We've got the coal train that is shuttling back and forth between the copper smelting, which still has yet to be named. So this first copper smelting district does need a name. Well, if anybody has any suggestions, as always, comments below. Yeah, the coal is going from Central down to the copper smelting up to Vickersville, and in Vickersville we've got the iron train that is now trundling back and forth, providing all of the iron for circuit production up in Turing Sands. And it's feeling, I'm liking it already. It's got a nice little bit of charm to it, and I like that we're kind of building our own little world with this, and contributions towards naming and all that sort of stuff is going to be appreciated for everything. Whenever I have something like a location that needs to be named, I will let you know, and it will be a case of drop it in the comments below, or like let me know via one of my social medias. If I like what's suggested, then it will get used, or at the very least I will take influence from what has been suggested and like work it into something that I, you know, would prefer to have. But I will try to always prioritize a suggested name over something of my own anyway. But I think I'm going to leave this episode off here. We've just had robotics research finished, which means that we're starting to get towards being able to do logistics, and actually having logistics robots set up. But that's going to, actually getting that all set up is going to be so far down the line, because we need to set up loads of different stuff to do with like batteries and oil production. There is, as I said, I think at the end of the last episode, there is a lot more that needs to be done. This is not going to be getting done anytime soon. I'm expecting this to be a very long series, and I'm looking forward to it because it does mean that we are going to get to kind of build this world together, which is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to continuing this, and we'll be back next week with another episode. I already have more stuff that needs to be done. I have some things written down, but there is going to be more as of the end of this recording, so I will make a note of everything that needs to be done, and we will be back next week with another episode where we will catch up with things. And I've just spent the last God knows how long just sitting here waffling. So thank you all so much for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it and you want to see more Let's Plays or metal covers from me, you can check out the playlists that are on the channel, and you can follow the links in the description below to follow me on social medias. But thank you again for watching this episode, and I will catch you all very, very soon. This is Captain Meatshield, signing off. Bye, train! Oh. Okay. What's all this about? Oh no, it's Blood Moon, and I'm outside the walls! Shit!